Imagine standing on a frozen coastline at the edge of the world. In front of you lies a stretch of dark, violent water, only 53 miles, 86 kilometers wide. On one side is Russia. On the other is Alaska. Two massive continents, two different worlds, separated by a distance shorter than many daily commutes. It sounds almost unbelievable. With all our technology, our giant machines, our satellites, computers, and artificial intelligence, why can't humanity build a bridge between Asia and North America? Why can't someone drive from Moscow to New York across a road that crosses the top of the planet? For more than a century, some of the world's greatest engineers have dreamed of doing exactly that. They designed bridges larger than anything humanity had ever attempted. They imagined trains carrying passengers between continents. They promised a new era where the Earth itself would become one connected land. But every time humanity reached for this dream, the Arctic answered with a warning written in ice, earthquakes, and forces powerful enough to destroy steel itself. This is the story of the bridge that humanity has dreamed about for over 100 years, and the terrifying reasons why it still does not exist. The idea of connecting the two continents is not new. In the early 1900s, visionaries looked at the map and saw the Bering Strait not as a barrier, but as an opportunity. Among them was a French engineer who imagined an extraordinary railway connecting Europe, Asia, and North America. His vision was almost impossible to comprehend for people of his time. Passengers could leave the cities of Europe, travel across Siberia, cross the Arctic Gateway, and continue all the way into the American continent. The newspapers celebrated the idea. Investors showed interest. Governments discussed the possibility. For a brief moment, the impossible appeared within humanity's reach. But then, the dream suddenly disappeared. The plans were abandoned, and rumors began to spread. Some believed powerful shipping industries secretly destroyed the project to protect their profits. Others whispered about ancient spirits of the Arctic that would never allow humans to disturb their frozen kingdom. The stories were mysterious. The truth was far more frightening. Nature itself had placed the first obstacle in humanity's path. The northern regions of Alaska and Siberia rest upon one of the strangest materials on Earth, permafrost, ground that has remained frozen for thousands of years. At first glance, it appears as solid and reliable as concrete, but it hides a dangerous secret. The moment heavy construction begins, the balance changes. Heat from machinery, buildings, and underground work can melt the ancient ice trapped inside the soil. What was once solid ground transforms into unstable mud. A structure weighing thousands of tons can slowly begin to sink into the earth beneath it. Early engineers had no way to fight this invisible enemy. Their technology was not powerful enough. Their dream had to wait. But a century later, humanity returned with stronger machines and greater knowledge. Surely this time we could win. Unfortunately, the real enemy wasn't waiting beneath the ground. It was moving above the ocean. Winter in the Bering Strait is not peaceful. It is a battlefield. The sea does not freeze into a calm white surface. Powerful currents break the ice apart and push gigantic frozen slabs against one another. The pressure creates massive ridges of ice, some weighing millions of tons. They move slowly, silently, relentlessly. And when they reach the coastline, they can push giant rocks aside like toys. For ancient sailors, this terrifying force was impossible to explain. They imagined sea monsters beneath the ice, Some believed giant whirlpools swallowed ships into hidden worlds below the ocean. But there were no monsters, only physics. The Bering Strait is like a narrow doorway between enormous bodies of water. The oceans push against each other, forcing ice fields to move with incredible energy. Any bridge pillar standing in their path would face endless pressure. Day after day, month after month. Eventually, even the strongest materials begin to weaken. Steel can crack. Concrete can break. The ocean never gets tired. And that is a battle humanity rarely wins. If a bridge cannot survive the ice, there seems to be an obvious answer. Go underneath it. Humanity has already built incredible underwater tunnels. So why not create another one beneath the Bering Strait? Engineers explored the seafloor, expecting to find strong rock suitable for massive drilling machines. Instead, they discovered something far more complicated. The bottom of the strait hides ancient frozen ground from the last ice age, submerged permafrost. It has remained frozen beneath the ocean for thousands of years. But the moment a drilling machine cuts into it, heat and friction can destabilize it. The frozen ground can lose its strength. A tunnel built inside such unstable material would face enormous challenges. Even if engineers overcame that problem, another danger waits below. The Earth itself is moving. The region surrounding Alaska is one of the most active geological zones on Earth. Powerful tectonic forces continue shaping the landscape. History has already shown what these forces can do. During massive earthquakes, the ground can rise, sink, crack, and permanently change its shape within minutes. Now imagine a gigantic structure stretching between two continents. A rigid bridge or tunnel must survive not only ice and extreme cold, but also the movement of the planet itself. The challenge is almost unimaginable. And yet, even if humanity solved every scientific problem, there would still be one final obstacle. The one that might be the most difficult of all. Money. Look closely at a map. The Bering Strait itself is only a small piece of the journey. Beyond both sides lies thousands of miles of some of the harshest wilderness on Earth. There are few roads, few cities, almost no infrastructure. Building the bridge would be only the beginning. Engineers would need to create thousands of miles of railways and highways across frozen wilderness. Every road would battle thawing ground, brutal winters, and constant maintenance. The price would be beyond imagination, not billions, potentially trillions of dollars. And there is a difficult economic reality. Massive cargo ships already move goods across oceans at a fraction of the cost. A bridge may be possible one day, but making it financially worthwhile is an entirely different challenge. But humanity has never stopped dreaming. Engineers today are exploring ideas that sound like science fiction. Floating underwater tunnels, giant sealed tubes suspended beneath the surface, held in position by advanced engineering systems. They would avoid the crushing ice above and reduce many of the problems created by the frozen seabed. Inside these tunnels, future high-speed trains could travel at astonishing speeds. A journey that once required crossing oceans could someday take only hours, or perhaps even less. The answer may not be to defeat nature. The answer may be to work with it. The Bering Strait has challenged humanity for more than 100 years. It has defeated our bridges with ice. It has challenged our tunnels with frozen earth. It has reminded us that even the most advanced civilization is still a small part of a much larger planet. Human beings can build skyscrapers that touch the clouds. We can send machines to distant worlds. We can explore the deepest oceans. But the wild Arctic still asks a simple question. Do you truly understand the power of nature? Maybe one day, a person will leave Moscow, enter a vehicle, and arrive in New York without ever boarding a ship or airplane. But that achievement will not come from conquering the Earth. It will come from learning to listen to it. Because the greatest engineering miracle is not forcing nature to obey us. It is discovering how to move forward alongside it.